Good morning, students. Once again, we are here for your online classes, class 11 geography. We were doing chapter 3, that is Earth's interior. And we have already discussed about the topic what is volcano. Why we need to study about volcano, we have already discussed in the last class that because of volcanic eruption we will come to know what is there below the surface of the earth or below the crust layer. So now we come to the next topic regarding volcano, that is the types. If I talk about the types on the basis of their intensity or on the basis of the nature of eruption, volcanoes can be classified into 4 categories. One is known as shield volcano. The second one is known as composite volcanoes. Then we have one caldera. One is flood basalt. And the last one is mid-oceanic ridges. So in this chapter, we need to know what are the different types of volcanoes, that is, the different types of volcanoes, and this classification is based on the nature of eruption. There is one more classification of volcanoes, that is how many times they have erupted or the volcanic eruption has taken place, and in that we know that there are 3 types. One is active volcanoes, one is dormant volcanoes, one is extinct volcanoes, but that is not in the syllabus in this class. In this year, the syllabus regarding volcano is, if you talk about the shield volcano, the word shield, you must have heard this word during war. People, the army people, they use a shield to protect them, and you know the feature of the shield is somewhat like this. So this volcano feature, what it makes on the surface of the earth, is very much similar to the shield used by the warriors. So it is like this. Now reason is why the volcano is in this shape, in a smooth rounded shape, because if this is the opening of the volcano and this is the magma chamber, which we have already discussed, the eruption which takes place from this, when eruption takes place, because it is a kind of a fluid which comes out from the interior of earth, and it spreads like this, and it covers the region in the form of a shield. This thing which comes out is liquid basalt. Basalt is basically consists of, it's a rock. Basalt is an igneous rock, or also known as a lava rock, formed by, it consists of silica and magnesia. So this forms this liquid basalt comes out on the surface and it gives a shape of a shield on the surface, which forms a shield volcano. Now if we talk about the composite kind of volcano, the word composite means when the volcanic eruption takes place, the matter which comes out, it's not that fluid kind of matter, the one which we have seen in the first category. Rather, it is little viscous. Because it is viscous, and it is thick kind of thing. So when volcanic eruption takes place, you will see the volcanic eruption. If this is the source of magma, this volcanic eruption, the magma, because it is viscous, it tends to come out, and it reaches, as soon as it reaches the surface, it solidifies. Again the eruption comes out and it solidifies. Again it comes out, and layer by layer you will find there are different layers which forms, and the shape changes from a shield kind of thing to a composite kind. The third kind, a caldera. Caldera is the most violent one out of all these volcanic eruption. If you see the picture, you will understand. This is the mouth of a volcano. This volcanic eruption, when it takes place, it comes with huge force. The magma which comes out through the vent, it comes out with a huge explosion, and what happens? It pushes the mouth so violently that it breaks this thing, and then it becomes enlarged. All the thing goes up in the air. The matter which was here, the opening which was there, that has been broken and it has been widened. It goes up and again collapses down, and it creates a huge depression at the mouth in this way. Sometimes it has been seen that water gets collected in this and it forms a caldera lake. So caldera is actually the crater which gets enlarged due to the huge explosion or eruption of volcanic matter. The flood basalt, as the word suggests flood, it means the basalt which comes out, the volcanic matter or the molten matter which comes out in the form of lava. It must be highly fluid. It was fluid, but it is highly fluid. The characteristic here you must write is it's highly fluid in nature. So if something is highly fluid in nature, it will definitely flow into different directions. So if you remember your peninsular part of India, this part is known as Deccan Trap. This Deccan Trap is basically formed by volcanic eruption, and this is one good example of your flood basalt kind of volcano, because it spread during the volcanic eruption. It was highly fluid, so it spread out over a large area, and today we find this region is suitable for the growth of cotton because it consists of black soil. The last one, the mid-oceanic ridges. If we talk about mid-oceanic ridges, you need to know why volcanic eruption takes place. Sometimes it has been noticed that, suppose these are the two plates. If these two plates move away from each other, what will happen? Because we know these two layers are resting upon, I'll make it an easier way. This is a layer of asthenosphere, as we have already discussed. On this layer of asthenosphere, suppose there are two plates, and both of these plates are moving away from each other. When these plates move, because they are moving, they are on asthenosphere layer, so they get that surface, and because of the radioactive heat which is generated in between these crust and this mantle, the plates are moving here and there. When two plates move away from each other, we call it a divergent plate movement. And in most of the plate boundaries, you will find either there is a divergent plate boundary, or there is a convergent plate boundary, or there is a transformed plate boundary. I will discuss about these three types of plate movement in the next chapter, which is related to this. For volcanic eruption, you need to know what is a divergent plate movement. A divergent plate movement refers to two plates moving away from each other. Now, if the two plates are moving away from each other, there is a gap created between them. Now, this gap, what will happen to the gap? The magma which is there in this asthenosphere layer starts coming up, and because it is ocean, over it we have ocean, so the magma, as soon as it tries to come out, gets solidified here and forms a ridge kind of feature. You will find this kind of ridge. One example is mid-Atlantic ridge. This is also known as, you will study in other chapters, sea floor spreading, because the floor which was limited to this extent, now it has extended and one new crust has been added. So this is known as sea floor spreading. So these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types of volcanoes which you should know in this chapter. Next part of volcano consists of the features which form due to the solidification of the molten matter. Now, volcanoes when erupts, they form two type of rocks. One is extrusive igneous rocks, and one is intrusive igneous rock. So what are the different features which are forms which can be seen? We are going to discuss about the intrusive forms. Now suppose these are the gaps which is noticed, or the weak points, and this is the chamber of magma. When it tries to come out through these fissures and it gets solidifies, because as it is coming up the temperature is low, so it tends to solidify in between the layers of rock wherever they find a fissure or a gap. Now different kind of features can be seen. If it solidifies horizontally between two layers where it has found a gap, this solidification is known as sill. You will also find the word plutonic rocks. So don't get confused. What are plutonic rocks? Plutonic rocks basically are the rocks which are formed by the solidification of magma beneath the crust or within the crust. You can say it is within the crust. Now this was a horizontal deposition, and sometimes you see it will solidify vertically like a pipe or a conduit. You call it, if this is sill, this forms a dike. So you can easily differentiate between the two. One feature which is formed horizontally between the two layers because of solidification of magma, and the one which is solidified in between two layers but vertically. Beside these two, we also have some features where you will find there is a dome-shaped solidification of magma. This dome-shaped magma which solidifies within the crust is known as batholith. And sometimes this batholith, if they find an opening like this and with a support of a pillar, it solidifies here. This becomes a lapolith. So these are the major volcanic forms, intrusive forms, which you should know in this chapter. What is a dike, what is a sill, what is a batholith, what is a lapolith. Beside this, you will also find few other minor features, lapolith and laccolith. But major things which I taught you is you need to know all about this. So we have done today first thing about the volcano types. That is, there are 5 types of volcano on the basis of nature of eruption. That is the shield volcano. Then you have composite volcano, caldera type, flood basalt and mid-Atlantic region. All of you should practice the volcano types with the help of a diagram. You should know to draw a neat label diagram. Then we did what are the types of volcanic features, that is intrusive igneous rocks, which can be said intrusive features, also known as plutonic rocks, which forms within the crust with different shapes, that is sill, dike, batholith and lapolith. Thank you. We'll see you again tomorrow with the same chapter with other topics.